In this lecture, I'm going to share with you the smartest strategy to cover geography for the UPSC Prelims examination, which is used by UPSC toppers. Guys, I myself have used this strategy to score one of the highest marks in the Prelims examination. Guys, first of all, let me tell you why geography is important. Guys, if you compare geography with other subjects like polity, history, economy, environment, so you will see that most of the aspirants, they are ignoring geography in comparison to other subjects. Like they are giving more time to polity, they are giving more time to economy or history or environment. But if you analyze the recent UPSC Prelims paper of 2025-2024, you will see geography carries the equal weightage. Approximately 15 questions came from geography in the last 2-3 years, and many average aspirants, they are missing out in geography. Geography subject is very analytical, and sometimes people who do not have very clear concepts, they struggle in geography. In today's strategy session, I'm going to give you the smartest technique, the best technique to cover geography in the least amount of time so that you can score marks in the exam. Guys, my idea here is to tell you how with least effort you can score very high marks in the prelims examination. First of all, I would like to tell you, for geography, your go-to book will be NCERTs. Do not refer coaching institutes notes. Refer NCERTs. I'll tell you why. Let me show you some questions which have come in the UPSC Prelims examination. This is a question which came in 2023 Prelims examination. Ilmenite and rutile, evidently available in certain coastal tracts of India, are rich in which of the following? Guys, this question appeared very tough, but let me tell you, this question was directly taken from NCERT Contemporary India Part 2 Class 10th. You can see here, directly this question was taken. Most of the toothpaste are made with white titanium oxide, which comes from minerals rutile and ilmenite. You can see exactly the same question was taken from the NCERT. Many people, they waste a lot of time reading coaching institutes magazines, coaching institutes notes, and they ignore NCERTs. Guys, for geography, you do not need to read any other book other than NCERTs. Some people say that you need to read GC Leong. Today, at the end of this video, I'm going to give a hack where you can easily cover the entire GC Leong in just 1 hour. So please stay till the end of the video if you want that hack. Okay, so another I'll show you guys. This is from class 11th physical geography book. You can see this page from the climate chapter. You can see 2 questions have come directly back to back in 2023. This is 2023 question and this is 2024 question. Directly you can see this question and you can see this question directly from same page of NCERT. Questions are coming repeatedly. So guys, in this lecture, I'm not only going to give you a strategy, also I'm going to give you which are those NCERT books, which are those NCERT chapters which are of high priority so that you can use your time effectively. So let us start, guys. First of all, the major problem while covering geography is that there are a lot of books in geography, starting from class 6th, then we have class 7th book, then we have class 8th book, then we have class 9th book, then we have class 10th book, then we have class 11th. In class 11th, we have 2 books. Then we have class 12th, again class 12th, we have 2 books, and then we have GC Leong. So you can just count how many books you have to cover for geography, and that's the main reason many candidates, they do not take geography properly and they suffer in the exam. Today I'm going to give you a secret hack to cover all these books in an effective manner with least possible time. I'm going to give you a very analytical approach which you have not seen anywhere in the country. Okay, let us start. So first of all, what you need to know is that you need to categorize all these books into 3 categories. So what I have done is that I have categorized these books into 3 categories. First is the world physical geography, second is the Indian physical geography, and third is economic geography. If you see the questions which have come in the UPSC Prelims examination, you will see maximum number of questions in geography comes from world physical geography and then from the economic geography. From Indian physical geography, generally map oriented questions comes. Okay, so analysis of the PYQ is very important so that you can chalk out a strategy which will really fetch you marks in the prelims examination. Guys, let me again reiterate, my strategy is only focused on getting you marks in the exam, because at the end you don't have to become a geography expert, you have to become a expert in scoring marks in the prelims exam. You can see some of the scorecards. I have scored one of the highest marks, and I'm going to give you the secret strategy through which you can master all these books in an effective manner. So first what we have to do is that we will be starting with world physical geography. In world physical geography, you can see there are two books which you need, three books you need to read. Okay, majorly you have to focus on this book, Fundamentals of Physical Geography. But what you have to do is that when you read this book, you have to integrate this and this simultaneously when you cover this book. Okay, and whatever extra points are there in this book you have to write in this book, so that next time you don't have to read this book, and you don't have to read this book before the exam. Before the exam, you have to only read this book, okay, and revise this book. So first reading, what you have to do, in the first reading, what you have to do is that you have to first start with the physical geography. In physical geography, you can see there are three books. These three books are Fundamentals of Physical Geography, class 11th, The Earth, Our Habitat, class 6 book, and then Our Environment, class 7 book. Then what you have to do is that you have to integrate the same themes of this book with this book and this book, and whatever extra content you will find in these two books you have to transfer in this book. Okay, so that next time you don't need to read all 10 books, you have to only read this book for the physical geography. Similarly, for the Indian geography and economic geography, I'm going to explain you in the later slides. Okay, so if you exactly want how to integrate these three books, you can connect with me. This is my Telegram ID. I have given day-wise target how you can integrate this chapters and the topics of these two books with this book, so that when you read this book, you complete these two books, and next time when you revise, you don't have to revise this book and you don't have to revise this book, you have to only read this book. Okay. Second thing, what I'm going to give you is that in this book, what are the priority chapters I'm going to give you, and so that you can focus on those topics more where questions are coming at the later stage of this session. Okay. Next, what you have to do is that you have to read Indian physical geography. Once you cover the world physical geography, you have to read Indian physical geography. In Indian physical geography, we have two books. Again, we have the Indian physical geography class 11th and Contemporary India class 9th. Okay, here also same thing what we have to do. Suppose we are reading Physiography of India, so we read Physiography of India and Physiography of India from this book, and whatever extra point is there which is not there in this book, which is mentioned in this book, will transfer to this book. Suppose there is a river mentioned in this which is not mentioned in this, so you mention the river in this, because this is your base book. This will remain your base book. This is just one reading you have to give, and whatever extra point you have to transfer from this book to this book. Okay, because exactly the same chapters are there. Okay, there are some points, there are some paragraphs which are extra in this book and in this book. So, but this is our base book. So whatever extra is there, we have to read this book once only, and we have to transfer the extra material into this book. Okay, so that before the exam, 1 month before the exam or 2 months before the exam, when you want to revise geography, you don't have to read class 6th, class 7th, class 8th, class 9th, class 10th book. You have to read only class 11th and class 12th book. Okay, so this is one strategy you need to apply. So whenever you are reading geography, first reading you have to read all books from class 6 to class 12th. While reading books, as I have told you which books you have to integrate together, you have to transfer the extra material, extra content of this book into this book, so that you don't have to read this book again. Okay, because it is not possible for you to read all 10 books before 1 month before the exam. Okay, similarly guys, for the economic geography, we have this book and we have this book, and you can see here. Okay, economic geography also guys, okay, there are two types of economic geography. One is the basics of economic geography, where focus is on the world economic geography, and then we have Indian economic geography. In Indian economic geography, this is the base book. This is the base book what we have, and this is a kind of a, you have to transfer the extra resources from this. For example, when you are reading mineral resources, okay, so mineral resources are there in this book also, mineral resources are there in this book also. So if you find some extra mines which are mentioned in this book which is not mentioned in this book, for example, iron ore mine, Suppose you are reading iron ore mines and there is one mine which is mentioned here, which is not mentioned here. Transfer that name here, so that you don't have to read this book before the exam. Okay, so for economic geography, what you have to do is that first you read this book, World Human Geography. In World Human Geography, you will get basics of what exactly are resources, what are the different types of resources, what are the different types of minerals, what are the different types of economic activities, primary economic activity, secondary economic activity, tertiary economic activity. So you will have a basic understanding about economic geography. Okay, once you have this basic understanding of human geography, for example, in this book they have discussed entire science of and concept of demography. Okay, what is fertility rate? This was a question which directly came in exam. Once you read this book, then you can read this book, which is the economic geography of India, economic geography of India, because major questions in economic geography will come from India only. Sometimes they will ask questions, that also I'm going to show you what kind of economic geography questions they are asking. Okay, so this is how you have to cover all the NCERT books. Again, I'll just show you, okay, just for your reference. So first, what did I say is you have to start with the World Physical Geography. In World Physical Geography, you have Fundamentals of Physical Geography class 11th as your base book. Then you transfer the extra content of this Earth and Our Habitat class 6th book, and Our Environment class 7th book. Extra content you transfer to this book. So this will be your base book of World Physical Geography. Second, this will be your base book for Indian Physical Geography. This will be your base book, but you have to read this book also, and you have to transfer the extra content from this book to this book. Next, what did I say is for the economic geography, you have two parts. First, the fundamentals of economic geography, where basics of economic geography is explained. For that, you have these two books. Again here, transfer the resources from this book to this book, and then you have to focus on Indian economic geography. In Indian economic geography, this is going to be your go-to book, but you have to read this book also, and you have to transfer the resources from this book to this book. Many people say, sir, can't I read only this book? Can't I ignore this book? If you ignore this book, then what is going to happen, guys? You will leave this kind of questions which will come in the exam. I'm again showing you the question which came in the prelims examination, which many candidates could not solve. This was the question which came in the exam. This was the question which came in the exam. This was directly from class 10th NCERT book. So now you understand why it is important for you to read all the NCERT books, not only class 11th and 12th. Generally, many mentors or many toppers will say that only read class 11th and 12th NCERT books. Just you see, if you read class 11th and 12th book only, if you ignore class 10th book, then you will not be able to solve that question which came in the prelims examination 2023. Okay, similarly guys, for other subjects also like physical geography, also if you read only class 11th book, you will miss something and you will be repenting later on. Similarly, Indian Physical Geography also, you have to read this book also and transfer all the extra resources. Now people will say, sir, what kind of resources I have to transfer? What kind of resources I have to transfer from here to this book? What kind of resources I have to transfer from this book to this book? What kind of resources I have to transfer from this book to this book? Guys, you have to transfer only factual information. Factual information, because conceptual things will be explained here. Conceptual things will be explained here. Here, since it is a primary school book like class 7th book, class 8th book, very less conceptual knowledge is given, but factual stuff like mines, ores, minerals, rivers, mountains, that may be asked in the prelims exam. So all the factual stuff which are there in the boxes, focus on boxes, focus on questions which are there at the back of the chapter. Those things you need to transfer in these three books. Those things you need to transfer in these three books. These are the three books which you have to focus upon primarily, but you have to transfer resources from this book so that you don't have to read this book. Okay, at the end of the exam, you have to read only this book. Now I'm going to give you the how to strategize your preparation, which books to read first, which books to read later on, and within the book which chapters to focus upon. Okay, so let me just show you guys. So priority, what should be the priority? The priority should be this book should be the first priority. Why? What is the reason behind that? So guys, if you see, if suppose 15 questions are coming in the prelims examination, then at least 7 to 8 questions are directly coming from this book. Directly coming from this book, I'm telling you. Half of the geography questions are directly coming from this book. The rest half is either current oriented, or map oriented. Okay, so my first request to every one of you, read this book properly, thoroughly. Okay, and in this book, okay, second you have to read this book. Okay, second you have to read this book. Here you have to focus more on the map points. Okay, for example, mines, minerals, industries. Okay, so crops also, it is very important. Every year one crop UPSC is asking, but here also what my experience and my analysis says that generally wherever it is mines or it is crops, generally the focus is current oriented. Okay, for example, this year in 2025 prelims examination they have talked about turmeric. You will not find in NCERT books, because turmeric is a current oriented crop. It was given in the current affairs. But you can't ignore NCERTs. You have to read this book. So priority should be this as the first priority, this is as the second priority. Okay, now guys, I would like to tell you one thing before I proceed. Before I give you the exact chapters within this, I'll tell you guys, all the entire NCERTs, okay, I have covered in test format. You can see here: physical geography world, physical geography India, economic geography world, economic geography India, then NCERT, you can see here, okay, advanced test and the map based test. All the maps of NCERTs I have covered. I have covered. Okay, so please, if you are struggling to cover all these 10 books, if you are struggling, you can just practice this NCERT test, which is part of our Laksh series. This is our Telegram ID. You can contact us. Okay, again guys, I have analyzed 25 years of geography PYQs. You can see here 25 years theme wise geography PYQs I have discussed. Okay, you can go through these videos. This will give you a sense of completion and confidence that yes, you now understand what UPSC question setters are focusing if you analyze the last 25 years of PYQs. So go through these videos. These videos are completely free to all the aspirants who are part of our Laksh series. Okay, so now let us proceed guys. So what I was telling you is that from our NCERT test, okay, directly you can see this is 2024 question. Directly it came from our NCERT test, directly, word to word. Even the format was also same. I'm just pausing the video for 1 second. You can see here exactly the same question came from our NCERT test. So that's why if you do not have the time to read each and every page of NCERT, it is very important to read. You see exact questions are coming from the NCERTs. So what you can do is that you can just practice this mock test. Okay, there are around 5 mock tests of geography which will help you to cover entire NCERT. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 tests. One test is completely based on maps. So all the maps of NCERTs I have covered through this test. So please do take this test. They are very useful. Secondly guys, what I am doing is that I am framing questions in the new format. So every year I am changing the NCERT test in the new format. For example, nowadays you see questions are coming table format. Okay, 3 table column format. So I'm including a lot of questions on that. All possible questions which can be framed from NCERTs in this format I am including in my test. Okay, that is why it is very important for you to again take this test. If you have already taken last year, again take this test. This is very useful. Okay, so now what I will give you is that I'll give you important chapters. Okay, so from fundamentals of physical geography, you see these are the chapters here. So out of this chapter, where are the questions coming? From where questions are coming in the last 4-5 years? So you know, this is the unit from maximum questions are coming, climate. So first priority should be in the climate unit. Here lot of questions, every year 2 to 3 questions are coming from just one chapter. Okay, next priority should be this: origin and evolution, interior of earth and distribution of ocean and continent. Okay, next priority should be the water. Okay, and after that, if you have time, you can read this and read. Generally less number of questions are coming from here and less number of questions are coming from here, because this is anyways covered in environment. Okay, so this is the topmost section. Okay, similarly guys, for economic geography, out of this entire units, okay, unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, unit 4, unit 5, okay, only this unit is important, where agriculture, water resource, mineral resource and industry, these are the 4 chapters where most of the questions are coming. Okay, so like this you have to prioritize your study and focus on those areas where questions are coming in UPSC Prelims examination. So guys, I would like to know from every one of you that did you like this strategy? One more thing I would like to tell you is that many people are struggling with maps. UPSC NCERT maps. You can see I have taken more than 10 map sessions, Every session is like 1 to 2 hours. You can see 2 hours, 1 hour, 43 minutes. Okay, so go through these maps are really very useful, very useful. Please go through these map sessions. Again, these map sessions are completely free for all my Lakshya Prelims test series aspirants. So please, while covering the NCERTs, please refer these maps, each and every map point of NCERTs, each and every, I'm telling you, each and every. I have not left a single map of NCERTs. All map of NCERTs I have discussed. Okay, so now I was telling you that I'll give you a surprise thing. So guys, as far as GC Leong is concerned, okay, what I have done is that generally the questions coming from GC Leong is from the second part, which is the climate part. Okay, types of climate. There are around 10 types of climate. So what I have done is that all these 10 types of climate, I have put this in table, just one table, and this table also I have explained through this sessions. Go through these sessions. Okay, if you want me to take an exclusive class on GC Leong, how to tackle GC Leong, please let me know, and do consider hitting a like to this video, guys. Please, so that I get to know that exactly what is your requirement. Please do comment in the video, at the comment of the video. Okay, what is the next video you are wanting? Okay, you want strategy for GC Leong, you want individual strategy for physical geography, you want individual strategy for economic geography, whatever you want, please do let me know. I am coming out with a new strategy again next week. Every week I'll come out with a very detailed strategy. Again, I would like to appeal every one of you, if you like this strategy, please do consider hitting a like and share this with your friends. Thank you guys. Bye bye. Take care.